Hey guys, welcome to my weekly Q&A segment. This was supposed to be uploaded yesterday, but I wasn't feeling in the mood. However, we're going to jump right into your questions. The first question from Ask FM is, would you date a fan? And I've answered this question before, but I was actually thinking about this recently, and the answer is no. I would not date a quote-unquote fan of mine. I would date someone who watches my content, but I would not date someone who classifies themselves as a fan, because I believe in the realm of YouTube, when you're in a position of influence or of power on a platform like YouTube, that people are really easily, I don't want to say manipulated, but they're really easily just wooed over people who make YouTube videos. And I wouldn't want a fan of mine to not be able to distinguish between them being a fan of my content and being obsessed with, oh my god, it's a YouTube guy who makes YouTube videos, versus someone who just watches my content as, you know, I don't know, entertainment or... what I'm trying to say is I distinguish a fan versus just a casual viewer to be completely two different things. A fan is someone who really loves my content, and if you... I don't know how you can love my content, honestly. I don't think it's that good. But there is a distinction between those two people, and I would not date a fan, but I would date someone who is subscribed to me and is a casual viewer. The next question is, where did I put my phone? Do I believe the pay gap exists? No. I do not believe the pay gap exists. Where I believe the fundamental problem with people who spew the pay gap bullshit is primarily within the realm of men choose more dangerous jobs. Men work the more difficult jobs. For example, let's just say mining, for example. You're not going to get a lot of women who are going to be a miner, who's going to work under the ground, mining coal or whatever it be. These are very physically demanding jobs. That's not to say women can't do that, because there are some very strong females out there. But the majority of women are not going to do big physical jobs like work on skyscrapers and, you know, do metal welding. Or I'm not saying that women in these fields can't get a job in that career. Of course they can. But most women don't have an interest in that type of stuff. I mean, if you want to get your bachelor degree in psychology or, you know, art, where you just paint all your life, you're probably not going to be making the same sustainable income as a man who is doing underwater welding, for example, which makes a shit ton of money and is very, very dangerous. Men die a lot more on the workforce than women do, due to the severity of the jobs that are out there for men to do, which are very physically demanding and so on. So I'm repeating myself. But if you choose a career that doesn't pay as much as a career, let's just say an engineer working on planes, there's gonna be a gap between the pay, obviously, but that's not because you're a woman. That's because you chose to pursue a degree or a career that doesn't pay the same scale. And if a woman gets a degree in mechanical engineering working on planes or whatever, she's gonna be paid the exact same amount as a man if she's qualified just as with the same sort of degree. Like, I believe it was in 1960 or the 1970s where we established the pay, was it a certification? No, it wasn't a certification. It was some sort of piece of paper where we signed off on you cannot discriminate based upon gender in terms of paying people the same equal amount. If a woman can get a job in mining coal, she'll be making the same amount of money as a man. Obviously, if you've worked the job longer, you're gonna be paid more. But the point stands is that we're not allowed to discriminate based upon gender in terms of wages that people make. Next question is, are you single? Yes. Two of your biggest dreams. Honestly, if I had to, two of my biggest dreams, I would really like to start my own non-profit organization to help people with mental health issues. I have no idea what I would call it, but it would be something designed to help people in this generation right now who are going through a lot of things such as, you know, like self-harm and depression, suicide, stuff like that. I would start a non-profit organization that helps, that people can go to for free. Again, I don't know how this would work, but they could go and get free, like, counseling and psychological help, a therapist, without having to pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars in order to get that help that they deserve. My second dream would be to become a world traveler and get paid to travel the world. I love traveling to new places, experiencing new cultures, and going around the world. And it's something that I would love to do for a living. I would love to get out of this apartment. I would love to explore the world, discover new parts of the world, try new things that obviously I can't do here in the state of Washington. I mean, who would not want to get paid to travel the world? That would be, and like document my entire life. That would be an incredible experience that I would totally jump at any opportunity to do. Next question is, why are you so against veganism? Of course, that question. I'm not against veganism. I know I've made videos on the past with that feud with Vegan Gains, but hey, you know what? That brought in a shit ton of views. I didn't even really fucking care what I had to say. I did a response because he attacked me, and I knew that if I responded, I would get a shit ton of subscribers and a shit ton of views. Like, I knew that by doing that feud that he started, that it would garner a lot of attention. And that's fine. I did that for fun, for entertainment. I'm not against veganism. In fact, I think veganism is fucking awesome. And I really mean that. I'm not bullshitting you guys. I have nothing against veganism. In fact, actually watching Cowspiracy on Netflix and watching Fed Up, the documentary on Netflix, Cowspiracy, really put things in perspective for me. And I recommend it. It's not one of those, hey, we're gonna see a pig have his throat slit. No, it's nothing like that. But it dives into the actual problem with agriculture in the world in general, not just the US, but like specifically in like Brazil, and South America, they're wiping out gigantic fields, acres of rainforest for cattle farming and fucking pig farming because the demand for meat is so high. They're wiping out the jungle again. They're wiping out the Amazon jungle for cattle, which in return, the amount of gas emissions from fucking cows and their shit and their farting is doing a massive disservice to our environment, and it's a huge contributor to climate change that we're having right now. It was just last week, 5 islands, I don't remember where it was, but 5 islands completely just disappeared off the map because of sea level rising, because of climate change, because of what you and I have been doing to our environment around the world. It is a serious epidemic that I do believe needs to be addressed, and when it comes to agriculture and cattle farming and, you know, meat in general, in this whole world, the overconsumption of meat is affecting our environment, whether you want to admit that or not, and I have come to the conclusion that it is. That's why I limit myself to, at most, maybe beef twice a month, and I'm saying, that's coming from someone who used to eat beef like 4 or 5 times a week. And I've cut it down to twice. I don't even eat pork anymore. I know some vegans will say, I still can't believe you eat meat, whatever it be, despite you acknowledging that it's a serious epidemic, but I'm trying and I'm doing better than I used to, and it's a slow process. It's not something that I can just cut out all meat. I can't just cut out all, I can't do that. Physically, I can't do it. I was brought up eating these types of things, and for me just to cut it out it's not an option. It's something that I have to work towards, and I'm not against working towards that. So no, again, I'm not against veganism. I'm against militantism of any sort, whether that be an ideology, whether that be veganism, whether that be feminism, any sort of militantism. I don't like being part of anything that's militant. So when you run into people who are like vegans who literally think that they're better than everybody else, yeah, I tend to try to stay away from that. I do think that gives veganism a bad name. Next question says, what game am I most looking forward to in the year 2016? Well, after this is done, this video, I'm going to be streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/Repzion. I'm going to be playing Uncharted 4 Thief's End. I've been waiting for this game for a very, 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 very long time. Uncharted 4 is out right now. I have actually sitting up in the background here just waiting because I'm about to go stream it. That and Battlefield 1. I'm a huge Battlefield guy. I've loved Battlefield since 1942. I've been playing it since I've literally been like 6 years old. I've been invested into the Battlefield franchise, and ultimately Battlefield 1 looks amazing. Goodbye Call of Duty. You were good at Modern Warfare. After that, you went to a shithole with every single year a new Call of Duty game. It's oversaturated, it's repetitive, it's annoying, it's nothing new to the table. You don't listen to your fans. The community of Call of Duty has just been utter shit for the past almost, I would say, 6 to 7 years. Actually, no, 5 years. Let me take that back. But Battlefield 1, hands down, I'm looking forward to the most. You can expect a lot of gameplay footage of that probably going to be on this channel eventually. I find it funny that your hair is receding. You are very, very ugly, and when you look bald, you'll look even uglier. Well, thank you. Thank you for making my self-esteem just fall and cripple. Look, I know my hair is receding very slowly. I am fully aware of that, but I'm not insecure about it because I know that I'm not going to lose all my hair until I'm about 45 years old. My dad had the same issue with, in fact, I saw photos of him. He had a huge thing of hair like I used to have. I would tell my dad that he has a rat's nest. His hair used to be like a afro almost to an extent. And up until 40, that's when his hair started to really go away, and he had a hunk of hair. And my hair is gonna be, I know it looks like it's receding all the time, but it's really not. It's been this way for a long time, since I've been like 14. It looks like it's receding more based upon how I style my hair. The further I pull it back, obviously, it makes me look like it's really receding. And you're right, I'm gonna look fucking hella ugly bald. I completely agree with you. But hey, I'm gonna be 40 years old by the time that happens, and that's a long ways away. Alright, the next question is... I don't know how to answer this. What do I find most cute? Most cute. Don't worry, I've made that mistake too, most cute. What do you find cute about the female body? What do I find I don't know how to, what do I find cute? I'm assuming you things like if they have a mole on their like tummy or like a dimple on their belly button or chin. I think, is that what you're asking? I don't know. Okay, something that I find cute. Like, I genuinely find cute. I know this is taboo. I know I'm going to be heavily judged for it, but honestly, I don't give a shit. I like stretch marks. I do. I don't care if the stretch marks are on somebody's leg, or if they're, like, on their stomach, or on their thigh, whatever it be, or, like, the side of, you know, their body. Like, I have no problem with stretch marks, and I do find stretch marks cute. I don't know how I find it cute. I just do, because I see a stretch mark and I'm like, that's a part of like the physical body. I don't know. I don't like perfect things, if that makes sense. Like, perfect things to me is, I don't like perfect things. So when it comes to like a body preference of someone, I don't care if it's fucking, if they have a stretch mark. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. I find it attractive, and I find it cute. God, that sounds so fucking weird. I know what I'm saying is really taboo, because I know a lot of people don't like stretch marks, and there's stretch marks on, guys can have stretch marks too, by the way. One of my friends has massive stretch marks on his arm because he worked out so much and he had so much weight, and he gained so much muscle that the stretch marks actually appear on his arm. Stretch marks are a really common thing, and I don't think it's something that women should feel insecure over, but again, that's just me. I like stretch marks, I find them cute. What drugs have you tried? Well, I'm not going to list all of them, but I will say that I recently tried some hallucinogen mushrooms, and holy crap. Wow. Hallucinogen mushrooms are insane. Crazy. I was actually really scared to try them, because I was afraid that I'd have try these hallucinogen mushrooms and, you know, see things in a negative experience, because I know people who've had really negative experiences using hallucinogens, where like their biggest fear come to life in front of them and stuff, and mine was great. It made me really happy, and like me walking around my apartment here, and I recommend if you do hallucinogens, do it with a friend. I did it by myself, which was a really big risk, but I'm a risk taker here. And it was a unique experience, very unique experience. It made me really happy, and my dog had a massive green hat, like a gnome hat. It was really weird, and it was so odd, because it looked real, but I knew subconsciously that I'm you know, I'm seeing things here. Like, my dog is not wearing a gigantic green pointy wizard hat, but that's what I saw, and it was cool. It's definitely something I would love to do again. They're expensive, so it's not something I want to do all the time because I can't afford it, but I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just try this, and it was a really cool experience. Just be careful doing it. I'm not saying to go out and fucking try drugs, but if you do drugs of any sort, make sure that you're around people who you trust and are safe. Tits or ass? Both? Like, that's a rhetorical question. I like both. Would you ever consider having sex with someone on the first date? No, I would not. I've actually thought about that question a lot before in the past. I would not consider having sex with someone on the first date. I just wouldn't. I'm not like that. I'm someone who really wants to get to know a person before I do something. Like maybe a third or fourth date, but a first date, no. Because in my experience of dating, and I've dated quite a lot of people, like just casually going out with people and meeting them, you can never truly know a person from talking with them for an hour at a restaurant. Like, you don't know them, and for them to just bring them back and have sex with somebody who you don't really know that well scares me for numerous different reasons, because you never know, they could have STDs and that, and I love sex, and I think sex is great, but I'm not just gonna throw it around with every person who I go on a date with. And I would like to get to know the person a little bit more than just a surface level hour conversation before I stick my dick in them. And one more question is, do you have a P.O. box? Yes, I do, in fact. You can send all mail to, linked right here, 18439 196th Avenue Southeast, Renton, Washington, 98058. It is linked right in that corner there. You can send it there. Just make sure the title is Daniel Souls Box so I know that it's for me. And I would love to do some unboxings of your guys' stuff on live video. I think that would be really, really fun. As always, my Teamspeak, link down below, thedarkside.teamspeak3.com. That is the server URL right here. I'm in there almost every single evening, playing games, just hanging out with people, and talking to my fans and subscribers. So if you ever want to join, feel free. Thank you guys for watching.